Hello everybody and welcome to the next day of my casting everyday challenge. Like I said earlier, still busy, schoolwork, got a lot of exams coming up, so I am just basically casting as much Hearthstone as I can because each game lasts anywhere between 5 and, well, I guess 30 minutes depending on how long the games go. And with this, it is going to be a Druid versus Rogue matchup, so this can be one of those where it's either over very quickly if X-Hope is able to get a big combo with his Rogue, get a big Edwin or a big questing adventure out there, or it can last a long time where the Druid is going to be able to finally get those Jades out. So we saw last time where X-Hope did win the first time around. I believe it was X-Hope versus Frozen, if I remember correctly. And yeah, so this is going to be really up to X-Hope to try to get that big Edwin out there, but without any other low-cost spells except for that backstab, we're not even going to be able to see it come out on turn 2 here. I've kind of seen Frozen. He had a couple of turn 1 10-10s Edwins during this tournament. That's always the dream that you want to have because it's very hard to deal with. Even Priest can't really deal with it until turn 3, and I believe most Druids run Naturalize, not even, Mulch and not Naturalize, so they can't deal with it until turn 3 either, so it's able to get a couple good shots on the board just from level 1, but we won't see that come up until turn 2, but probably not even, and this is giving a lot of time for Frozen to do whatever he wants, because turn 1, turn 2, Rogue has nothing. That's not really good for a Rogue, and he's just going to go over and send out the Vandrel here, which I really... What was he not? Oh, he has a coin. Okay, so he's going to coin out the Raven Idol as well, getting as much value as he can out of the Vandrel immediately. And this means that the next turn he can Innervate Nourish, and that is just going to be a huge power swing. Now, we see that he didn't get too many good minions out of that, just going with the Raptor, but that is going to help him throw a pretty cheap minion out there. And yeah, the Mark of Nature is also not the greatest pickup here. And X-Hope not really having good turns 1 through 3 here. Has to do something at this point. Does he just start trying to get the question train going to deal with this Vandrel? But if so, the best he could hope for is a 4-4, but that's a completely waste of your prep if you do that. But I think you have to get a minion down, and I think you actually have to use that preparation to get this questing a lot stronger. It is going to be a complete waste, but I feel like he actually has to do that. It'll give him a 4-4 on the board that is going to continually ramp and force Frozen into clear with it. Sadly, he can use that Vandrel to clear it off and then just use the hero power as well to finish it. So that's still not even the greatest choice from X-Hope. Does he just concede 3 turns in a row and not do anything? That seems extremely weak, but it might be the best play here for X-Hope just because Questing Adventure is a big win condition, and you really just can't throw it out there to just die pretty easily, but it might be a 4-4 Van Cleef just coming out, and that still is just not strong at all. He didn't even try going with the prep for the 6-6, so he does value that spell, but this is going to allow Frozen to have a free Nourish here, so that's going to give him 2 extra mana crystals and 3 cards. That's just going to really help with this game at this point, and even having enough mana now for the Wrath, this is just beyond belief so good for Frozen. X-Hope is not able to do anything as he even dealt with the answer on the board and picks up a Mulch, so just in case anything comes out, he could still protect this Vandrel. That is huge at this point. The Tomb Pillager is going to come down, but I feel like Frozen's going to have a very easy job dealing with this. This is a perfect swipe target, and he gets it right off the bat, and the only problem is he can't use the Mark of Nature at this point to make that Vandrel into a 5-5. So he's just going to hold off for now. I believe, or is it +4 attack? I believe it's +2 attack. Oh no, it's +4. Oh, and it's +4 health. Why did I think it was 2? I was just completely wrong there. So it's going to be a 7-7. Forget what I said. And now that just makes it really tough for X-Hope to deal with at this point. And not going to put the Mulch out. He's just going to push as much face in as he can. Already putting the Rogue to 20. And the Rogue loves to use its health as a resource. And if you're being pushed very early, those daggers are going to be really tough to use now because you are just taking so much damage at this point in the game. Now, X-Hope here does need to do something big. And really, like, sadly, he doesn't really have anything on the board that could help him here. He is probably going to have to excavate, or he's probably going to have to eviscerate this Vandrel, and now how he does that, it's really going to be tough, but I think, yeah, the Azure Trick is really the only play you could do here. Try to get something on the big draw, and then after that, go ahead and prep that eviscerate. You have to deal with this Vandrel this turn. This is just not a very good start for X-Hope. One of the worst starts I've seen from a Rogue from a long time, but that is the thing about the Rogue. And actually, the Fan of Knives That is a huge pickup for him. He's going to get a draw and as well to deal with both of the minions on the board. So that was absolute perfect for him. And that's one thing he absolutely needed. He is so far behind this matchup already that he does need something to go his way. And that Phantom Knives was that. Usually a Phantom Knives is just a dead card that you just throw out to cycle and that's it. But he was actually able to clear off the board with it. So great job by Exo up there to get the card that he needed. And now Frozen going to continue with the ramp here and just kind of concede board control a little bit, but he will go ahead and at least clear the board. But this is going to allow Exo to actually develop something. It's most likely just going to be a questing here, and may probably coin out a Tomb Pillager as well, just to get a 4-4 and a 5-4 on the field. Just going to make it very tough on Frozen to see what he has to do. But Frozen, as we see, already has a swipe, already has a mulch. He has answers, and this just might be devastating for Exo. Still fairly weak, and that's the win conditions now almost gone. We know he has another questing somewhere in his deck, but what else is the rogue going to hope? This is a miracle rogue, so their big thing is just to make these big unstoppable minions and push it down so that at the end of the game, a Leroy combo could come out to maybe a Leroy Cold Blood to do that 10 damage burst to end the game. But this game, we're not really seeing it, and it is helping Frozen here because the one thing he wants is to be able to get to that late game style. And the weird thing is actually not seeing any Jades. This might not be a Jade Druid. This still could be that Malagos combo Druid with Aviana and Kun. I'm not 100% sure what Frozen is running, but if that is the case, it does give a little bit of hope over to Exo. Just because now he doesn't have to worry about those big Jades that come in at the late stage of the game, but he does have to worry about that combo that will happen, and that might be why we see Frozen holding on to these Living Roots, because he needs that for the burst damage once the Malagos comes down. But yeah, the Azure Drake, we'll have to see if it picks up anything to let us know what's going on. Just the Living Roots as well. So this is going to be weird if this entire time, if he's running Jade and just never picked up a Jade card. That would just be extremely unlucky if that is the case. And after a horrible start that Exo had, this is exactly what he needed. Not the greatest of pickups there for that other Eviscerate, just because he's not going to be able to use it. There's no way to combo unless he's going to go 2-faced and 4 to the Azure Drake, but that's a huge waste of your burst damage potentially for that last game. And would it be a sap here? And do you push? No, you don't push 8-face. You might have to use those. You need to think about using those for clearing down the line because you are so far behind already. Yes, you will push 13 damage, put your opponent to 11, but then you're also down to 2 cards, which is the Gadgetzan and Sap. So that's only 1 extra card you get from the Gadgetzan right away. So wouldn't it be the greatest of choices here? Granted, you'll have the coin for an additional hopeful, like, oh, you get some 0-cost minions, maybe another prep. We'll have to see. And Frozen here actually just looks extremely worried there, surprisingly. He's in such a good spot here, but maybe just being 1-0 down and really not drawing the combo pieces just yet is making him worry a little bit. Is he actually going to throw a Gadgetzan down? He is, so he does want to draw some cards here, and the coin Eviscerate is going to be perfect here to allow him to draw something to prep if he wants to go for more cards here. And it's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to try to get as many cards as possible. So he's going to double Eviscerate here and go face. And he's drawing some cards here. Now the Barnes, to me, is interesting pickup here. I guess, okay, I could see, okay, it does make sense in Rogue, yeah. If you have the Tomb Pillagers coming out, you get extra coins for free, basically. If you get Shaku coming out as well, you get free cards basically. There's a lot of good choices still in the deck for Exo here. And now it's going to be the Gadgetzan turn coming out from Frozen, and there we do see that Aviana. So now we know for sure that what kind of deck this is. So he does need 2 more combo pieces. He needs that Kun and needs that Malagos. And after that, every other minion that he gets after that is just bonus if he even needs it at that stage of the game. He has a good board right now. The Conceal comes out just a turn too late. Now, Exo could just pray right here, hope that the Barnes gets the Gadgetzan, because if that's the case, he can start cashing in quite a bit of cards. And at this point, Exo has to think, does he use that swipe on the Gadgetzan? Because if he leaves that up, that's a lot of spells that Frozen can use to try to dig for these other combo pieces. And at this stage of the game, I don't think Exo can leave that Gadgetzan out. It's here, it might be Barnes and Swashbuckler, and hope to see what you get off of it, because there's no other way to clear it off. And it's going to be a Swashbuckler coming up, and that's just a very just weak draw there from the Barnes. And maybe I would have liked to seen the Swashbuckler come out first instead, just to see if you got any sort of removal, because you get a mulch, you get Feral Spirit, you get a swipe, you're able to clear off that Gadget Stand, and that should be your #1 priority at this point. And now you just have to really hope that he gets something out from the Swashbuckler that helps him out. And it's going to be Coon, not the card that he actually wants at this point. It is going to help him in the late stages of the game to get some decent armor back, but that is not exactly what he wants at this stage of the game. And Ancient of War, the big taunt Frozen picking up, that is huge right now, and that means that there's only a few combo pieces that Frozen doesn't have. He just absolutely needs Coon right now, and Amalgos as well is going to really help him out. That even just using Aviana Coon, Ancient of War, Gadget Stand, and then a couple cards, you can even try drawing in to that Malagos as well, which he actually tried right there, and then Nourish, that is a huge pickup. He could probably just now dig for 3 cards. You have about a 30% chance of drawing the Malagos just from the Nourish, and you count 40% if you count the next card after that as well when you draw. So 40% to draw Malagos and end the game. You have, let's see, 4 damage in hand from spells. And Malagos adds, what, 5? I believe it is. So that's only doing 9 damage at this point, so you do need to get some more spells as well. So just the Malagos is not enough for Frozen to win here. He does need to pick other things. Maybe he has Druid of the Claw. Maybe he has a lot more spells. We haven't seen a single Moonfire yet, and that's one thing that he wants to pick up as well for when that Malagos comes in. But it seems like Frozen wants to throw down this Ancient of War, and I just hope that he's not wasting the combo too early, because you don't know what X-Hope could have. We do see that he really has nothing at this point. He's going to have to fan and ice for something desperate at this stage of the game, and I don't know what he could pick up that could turn this game around. He's going to be staring right now at 5 damage, and we see actually lethal potential coming out from Frozen if there's actually no answer coming out from X-Hope. And we see it right here that the play to keep him alive is going to be the coin out the Coon, and he is going for it. He figures out, because the one thing about Druid is they have a lot of spells that do 4 damage. That Swipe and the Feral Rage is those big damage that you have to worry about. So he realizes, hey, there's 10 on board, probably 8 in hand, and I need to get some armor here, but did he? Oh, he actually went for the mana to try to pick something up. That is interesting. I don't know why he went with mana. Maybe he was just hoping that whatever he would have drawn would help him stay in this game, but it's going to be a Leroy that he has to realize that he actually has to use it right now. He has to clear off this Ancient of War or it's game. Frozen's going to win if nothing happens, and that's going to be it. He has 8 damage in hand, 11 on board, counting the hero power. So that means Frozen is going to even this up 1-1. X-Hope there, just not seeing the lethal. The Raven Idol comes out, and that's not exactly what he needed. But he's going to realize now that once the claws are going to come up, here comes the swipe as well. That is going to be game 2 going over to Frozen. He's going to tie it up. What a big game for Frozen there. He really needed this to get back in the series. And with his Druid, which is one of the weaker classes, gone, this is giving him a good advantage in this game now. He doesn't have a lot of other weak classes that are going to be a deficit to him, but that Druid was what it's going to be. So we got a very early win with that, and that's going to really help him for the games that come forward. So we will be back with this series tomorrow. Thank you guys for being patient. I've just been busy, can't really cast too much, but I still want to get the practice in when I can. I hope I'm getting better at Hearthstone, still rambling on a bit, but I hope I get better in the long run. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching.